lock right here on the left side of the frame. You squeeze it down and it drops the hammer. So you can carry it with the hammer down if you wish, or you can carry it single action, cocked and locked with the safety engaged. So there's two different settings there. Instead of having just a lever, you can sweep down and bring the hammer into double action only, or down into double action mode like you would on the USP. There's a separate lever for it, which I guess this giant pistol, they needed to find some way to use all that real estate up on the gun itself. It is a very large gun. You notice the fact that the gun has a very large trigger guard. That's because of gloved fingers. As a military pistol, if this gun is going to be used in Arctic conditions or really cold conditions where a soldier might be wearing some really thick gloves, they needed a very generous size area for that gloved finger to be able to fit into the trigger guard of the pistol. The 16x1 right-hand thread on this gun is fitted with a Liberty Cosmic. Now, the original guns actually had suppressors that were specially designed by Knights Armament. Of course, we don't have that suppressor here. They also designed a special laser aiming module, and of course, I don't have it here, but it's this huge module that, I mean, this thing is big enough as it is, but there's a threaded portion on the front of the trigger guard where the laser aiming module is actually designed to go onto the gun. At first, I always thought that the sights on these things were a little bit crude, just because for the size of the actual slide itself, they are a little bit on the thin side, and they're not really wide. But the sights actually do pick up quite well. The trigger is excellent on this gun. And I tell you, there's just not a lot of videos about the Mark 23 out there because, really, H&K doesn't make a ton of them that end up winding up in the U.S. They make a few of these guns, but it's not a real popular seller here in the United States like people would think. They really just don't run a ton of these guns. The grip texture is really not overly bad. You know, and the weird thing is this gun is touted as an offensive pistol. That was the bane of the way that the contract was originally perceived with SOCOM. They wanted a gun that fit a strict criteria and was intended to be an offensive pistol in that, hey, we're going to clear a building or a room, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, or there's some mission-specific capability that they determined they needed this. So that's kind of one of those interesting footnotes. Yeah, these guns are great. They're not real common, so we thought we would just play with it some. I'm going to shoot some groups, and we're just going to have some fun. Hopefully I can do the gun some justice, because these things absolutely fit the ace. I'm going to do my best for you guys. Now, that's just me putting the aim out, and I'm using the bolt on that plate as a point of aim. Honestly, that grip is not even good. This gun will literally put them all in one hole at this kind of range. This gun is supposed to shoot a 2-inch group at 25 yards. I don't know if I can quite do that good, but man, I tell you, something that would be really fun with this gun, in my opinion, is if there was some way to attach like maybe a shoulder stock to it. I know that seems kind of silly, but if it is an offensive pistol like they're calling it, why not have a shoulder stock attachment? That would make this gun really controllable, and all of that accuracy that you're getting out of this gun, and it's just so killer. I mean, you've got carbine-like accuracy out of this thing. Why waste all that accuracy in a handgun when this could be like maybe even like a modular carbine? They could make this thing, just design the lower frame of this gun, you know, to be a little short, stocky carbine or something, okay? And up here, maybe add like a forward grip, something smaller to be able to control it. And then add you like a 20, 25 shot mag. Now you're talking. And it really, in my opinion, they might have missed the mark there. Now granted, okay, I'm not SOCOM, and I don't know what the contract was really intended for in terms of what they were looking to do. But just from the outside looking in as a consumer, and just me being the guy that I am, this gun needs to be a carbine. It would be so awesome. And the gun is already just exuberantly expensive already. What's a few more dollars to just make it all that much cooler? Of course, that's my humble opinion. I'm not talking down on the gun because it's awesome, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. just crazy. Guys, this gun is it's nuts. I mean, I love this thing. It's crazy. I mean, you're a movie star or a guy in a video game or something, like, you gotta have this gun. Like, to me, it fits that type of niche, you know. I can see why it's a really awesome gun that shows up in so many different popular places like that. And it's just a very large and impressive gun, which is really cool. We're gonna shoot a little bit more. Hopefully I'm doing it some justice in the accuracy department. I mean, I'm not kidding, guys. This thing will straight up shoot.
Hit it too hard, it slipped.
That was me. Pretty much if you miss, it's you. Just go and get that in your mind right now. And they're not kidding, man. When they say these things are match grade, they are match grade. Every single person I've let shoot this gun is just blown away at the accuracy. They better be, for what it costs, too. All right, how about a series of headshots? Nicked him. I mean, come on. How about the gopher down there? I mean, come on. You know, this thing is just killer. Very impressive in size. I mean, just a big gun. Long and heavy, and it's like a Desert Eagle in terms of overall size. And so if you ever put a Desert Eagle in your hand, you see just how big of a gun it is. This thing is definitely right in there in terms of size and length and everything and overall feel. Definitely lighter. I mean, the polymer frame definitely cuts down on the weight a good bit. But they did a great job with this handgun. It's a shame that they're not more commonly available and that they're not, you know, cheaper. It is a very expensive gun. In fact, this one's a loaner. I don't own it. I'd probably never buy something like this. I did borrow it. But it is a neat gun, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to let Chad have a go because this thing just shoots so well. I just can't wait to see something like this. You know, maybe we'll find a way to SBR one of these things just for fun. We're going to put that whole thing to the test. Like, what would a Mark 23 SBR look like? Maybe we'll make one, I'll tell you. So, we'll see. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Chad. We're going to clean the range up. This thing's just great. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I'm going to take a few shots of Mark 23 here, and you know, Eric was pretty much praising this gun to Kingdom Come, but I'm going to be a little bit of a turd, and I've got a few negative things to say about it. I love this gun, I really do. And like Eric said, it's a loaner, and I wasn't really sure what to think about it when we first got it, but man, literally when you pull the trigger on it, it's such a smooth shooting gun, and the accuracy is just so phenomenal. It kind of changes your mind about the whole platform for a moment. But anyways, I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. God, that thing is huge. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, that was definitely me. It's actually broken. The gun shoots just so well, it's not even funny. Dude, ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy how good this thing shoots. It's just nuts. Like I said, when we first got them in, I didn't really know what to think about it, but, you know, I'm an FNX 45 Tactical, and so does Eric. And I've had that gun for maybe a year and a half or so now. Eric's had his for a few years, but, you know, I bought that gun for less than $1,000. You know, and you get 15 shot mags, 3 mags with the gun, and they retail for about $1,200. This gun retails for about 2, if not more than that. And the magazines, although they could stuff a lot more in there than HK does, these are 12-shot mags. These are the law enforcement mags. The restricted mags are only 10 shots. You have this huge gun and 10 shots of 45 ACP. I mean, come on. Plus, these mags cost double, if not more, than the FNX 45 tactical mag. So, from a non-military standpoint, I mean, we're not SOCOM, we're not military or anything like that. I mean, well, there's a bet, but this gun, just as a civilian type gun, it's just a showpiece. And that's why they've been used in movies and stuff so much, is because they are an awesome gun. They look good in the movie, but from a practicality standpoint, I just really couldn't see personally owning this particular firearm when an FNX 45 does everything I need it to and then some, and is a wonderful special base. But the FNX doesn't come anywhere close in the accuracy for me. I mean, this gun just it shoots the living daylights out. I'm going to shoot for about 40 yards back there and just see. I haven't shot that far yet, but it's just so crazy how good this thing shoots. I just stacked 2 shots on top of each other at like 40 yards. How is that even possible? I don't even shoot that good. Alright. I might change my mind about what one of these. Oh, that was me. Right over the top of here. Right over the top of this head.
It's disturbing how accurate that gun is, Chad.
It's nuts. It really is. Man, 12 shot magazines are just killing me. We were comparing this to the Desert Eagle earlier. You know, I used to own a 357 Desert Eagle with 58 and 44 mag barrels, and although the weight isn't the same, of course, I mean, Desert Eagle is like a 60-ounce gun. It's ridiculous. But this gun, in size comparison, it's like holding a Desert Eagle. It's just, it fills the hand. I mean, Kevin is a bigger guy, and he felt like this gun really fits his hand well. But his hand, I mean, he can like wrap around a basketball. You know, he's got them big old bear mitts. But I don't know, it just, I'm still not 100% sold on it. But man, when you pull the trigger, it's just crazy. So pissed. Oh no! Gotta watch that fall. Oh. Oh, that was me. The trigger's phenomenal. I mean, it's got a really, really nice trigger. It's almost kind of two-stage-ish in a way. It comes back and it stops, and it's just got a really, really clean break without any like sloppiness to it or any kind of staginess. Got a little bit of over travel, but man, I bet if they had like an over travel stop in this thing, woo boy. I mean, god dang, man. Get out of there. Big old honky thing. We're just having fun with this thing. I mean, this isn't a review. We're just out here showing this gun off and just getting a chance to shoot it home. I think Eric said that HK makes like 12 of these a year. Is that right?
Not many.
Not many at all.
Not for the U.S. market anyway.
No, not the U.S. market. I'll take out some soda pops. I just love them. I love the way 45 sounds when it hits the soda suppressed. Or when it doesn't. There we go. Yeah, so swing. Get out of here. Alright, just a little bit left in the bottom there. Oh man. Get out of here. Get out of here. Dude. Hush ammo is running great. Cosmic's doing a good job. You guys don't know about this can? It's 45 ACP. But if you know from previous videos, I love Liberty's products. They're based out of Georgia here, but you can run 22 long rifle all the way up to 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM out of this can. Pretty cool. All right, let's see. Leg go here. One more time. Dude, it's just ridiculous. No, get out of here. Take a popper out back there. Oh no, no! Wait on that. All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Gun ships to 2 mags, obviously.
Alright, let me see if I can get a popper back there. Alright, this is right. There we go. Alright, now 40 yards, let's see. Right there, and 75 yards. Alright. Sit here all day and shoot this thing. But I'm not going to. Actually, well, he's got one more mag. I'll shoot that last mag. I keep going back and comparing the same day for the X45 Tactical. I mean, just after we did the video initially with that gun, the Barracks, and I went and found one on the used market, picked it up, and it's a wonderful suppressor hose. It's decently accurate, but I mean, I haven't really shot that many like super accurate guns. I mean, recently we did a video with the Nighthawk and agency guns that were coming out and everything, and got to shoot literally, I mean, $3,000-$4,000, you know, 1911s. Those guns, I mean, they literally like the bullets are on rails. I mean, they really are. You point the gun, you squeeze the trigger, and it's going to go wherever the sights are. And if you suck, it's going to let you know real fast. And for being a polymer frame, you know, double action gun like this or BASA, I mean, just the way that HK engineers this gun, the hammer forged barrel and stuff, and the little O-ring seal right here. What this does, as far as I know, is actually help center the barrel inside the slide and bring it back to the same point every time. Much like the bushing on like a 1911, how it, you know, if the bushing fitment isn't good, the gun's not going to shoot all that great. The looser it is, the more reliable it might be, but the tighter the fit, the more accurate the gun's going to be. So this kind of gives you that accuracy potential in, you know, a polymer frame gun. We're going to shoot the last mag here, but, you know, as far as just going out and buying one, I don't know, that's really up to you guys. But I won't be owning one anytime soon. My FNX fits the bill just fine for me, but this is a lot of fun for sure. Let's see, we've got any targets that I haven't shot yet. Got a little 6-inch popper back there. See if we can get past that swing that's over there. Dude. Right over the top. Open. Pull that one. Ridiculous. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this fun look at the Mark 23. This is a gun that not a lot of people get to take a look at. I mean, they're just not really out there because there's not really a big market for them here in the States because they are prohibitively expensive for a handgun. It's a little large. The magazine capacity is kind of it kind of sucks. It's kind of a detriment to the overall, like my overall like rating of the gun, if you will. I wish that the mags held, you know, 15 shots or possibly more. They made like extended magazines, but overall the gun's awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, we got a lot more on the way. Hope you enjoyed this look at a cool movie gun. See you guys.
From the minute I tried Box, I was sold.
I'm getting the same name brand products as the Warehouse Club, but without having to drive anywhere.
It made my life so much simpler.
At Fox, you'll get all the name brand products you love in bulk delivered in 2 days or less with no membership fees.
I'm a working mom. I don't have time to give up my weekend to shop at the Warehouse Club.
Try Box today and save an extra 15% on your first order, plus free shipping.
Who doesn't like a great deal?
You should try Box. You will love it.
Fox, big sizes, bigger savings.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here, Thurite Veteran 8888. Today we're going to be doing a video about UK gun laws. All right, and I figured no better person to do that than my pal Richard from the UK.
Thank you.
And we're going to have him here to talk a little bit about some of the crap that is going on in the UK and kind of where it all started. And you know, there's a lot of confusion. I mean, Americans especially it's hard enough to get us folks in the U.S. to understand like what goes on with our laws,
Yeah.
because there's 50 states and there's all these different rules that each state has, and of course some people don't even know like their representatives' phone numbers and things like that. So even in their own little world, they're lost. So a lot of folks tend to not understand what's going on around the world around them, and people think that it's really bad. And of course, I guess in some places it could be, perhaps. But it's funny, like you and I talked a little bit about some of the UK gun laws, and I thought it would be fun to do a video on the kind of give the spill about what goes on in the UK. So tell us a little bit about how it all started. Like at one point, the UK was not unlike here in terms of what civilians were able to have.
Yeah, no,
How did things change?
Well, we had carry laws similar to what you have in the US, but they were taken away several hundred years ago because we had a politician that was killed in the House of Parliament. And I only found this out recently because I knew we had a carry law, and it was because a politician was killed in the House of Parliament, so they took away everybody's right to carry. And that was several hundred years ago. And then, but since then, it's been quite straightforward until World War II. There was a lot of like bringbacks from World War II, and then the control came in from like the late 40s and onwards and up until today, which at the moment it's fairly level, apart from like in Scotland where they're bringing in licensing for air guns. But in the rest of the UK, like what we can have has stayed the same since the last roughly 20 years, since the handgun ban in the mainland.
So that handgun ban is something that's post World War II.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. The centerfire ban on semi-auto centerfires was after 1987. In 1987 that came in. So anything that's centerfire, semi-auto was banned.
So we're talking like a literal confiscation, like hey, it's a mandatory turn-in.
Yeah.
Now was I'm assuming it's a voluntary thing, like hey, they didn't come door to door and take them.
No, you had to line up at the police station and you handed them back. And the handguns we were paid compensation for because I had to give up all mine, and a lot of friends like military and police, they all have to give up theirs. I mean, police we have armed police, but I'm talking about the police's own personal firearms.
So the policemen over there and all those guys are issued a pistol, obviously,
Yeah.
and when they go to work, they get their gun,
Yeah.
and when they leave,
We
they go
don't-
back and put it in the locker or something
we
like
don't
that.
have every single policeman armed like we do here. We have like an armed response team.
Okay.
So if there's an incident, like a bank robbery, they will be called in. Every main city has at least.
So if you're drunk at a bar and acting like a doofus and they have to check you, they're just gonna knock you over the head with a stick or something.
Yeah, that's it. Well, they carry. There's more officers with tasers, pepper spray, well, not pepper spray, smoke.
Less than lethal.
Yeah, less than lethal response.
Outstanding. So that's really one of those things that was full circle after World War II. There was handgun turn-in, similar.
Yeah, well, yeah. After like 1987 was the semi-auto centerfire ban.
Okay.
20 years ago was the handgun ban. And then since then we can have like this revolver here. We can have this with a longer barrel out to about here because the barrel length has to be a minimum. Then we have out here with a counterweight on. And we just
Make that overall length.
yeah, whether it's a 44 Magnum revolver, you can get them in 45 ACP. They do 9mm conversions. There's a lot of Taurus ones sold in the UK and some other.
So a little bit of a workaround.
Yeah.
Because of the length restrictions.
Yeah,
So basically, you're taking a handgun and making the length of a rifle.
Yeah, basically turn it into a carbine.
I got you. Okay. So now you mentioned this whole straight pull thing. So you can't have semi-autos, but you can have a gun that's magazine fed
Yeah.
and that is permanently modified to not shoot semi-auto.
Right, yeah. Say, like with this SKS here,
Okay.
this is semi-auto because it's an American. If this was in the UK, it would have to be straight pull. So there was no gas system at all, but the rifle would look identical apart from how you use it. Now each time you pull it back, release, and that would load one round into the chamber from the magazine. You pull the trigger, when you're ready to fire, you pull the trigger, it would fire that one round. You pull that back, it would eject the case that's just been fired, you release, and it would load the next one.
So basically, no gas system.
No gas system
So that's
whatsoever.
why a lot of the folks tend to, like you guys when y'all visit in the U.S., you like to get a hold of these because I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, because of when these guns were turned in, there's probably not a lot of these in straight full configuration because they would have been turned in.
As far as I
because they're older.
know, there's no straight forward cases in.
So it would be a newly produced
Yeah.
semi-auto that would be.
I mean, we can buy a brand new M1 Garand, we can buy a brand new M1 Carbine, we can buy a brand new FAL. There's any AK-47
Come on!
like caliber, 7.62 by 39 and the 5.45.
So they just have gas blocks that are just solid and no gas.
Yeah,
So they're made that way.
The barrel like on an M, where you have the gas block and an M4, it just doesn't exist.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and then others like the M4 with the